Hello, Drum Set Experience Adult Class. It's me again, Troy Jones, your host. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our last and final class of these semesters. So I thought of some cool stuff we could do um, that will kind of leave you with plenty to kind of take away from this and use on your own any way you feel fit. But I'll show you exactly how to do it all. So last time we worked a lot on the paradiddle. We did a lot with the paradiddle on groove, moving it around the kit, some different options of how and why it might be useful. Today we're going to do a lot with the double stroke, or the diddle, as we say in drum language. First, let's get warmed up. We're going to work on our exercise check pattern number 1, which is a measure of eighth notes and a measure of 16th notes as double strokes. So the eighth notes are alternating single strokes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the double strokes are 16ths, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. So here's the exercise, and we'll loop it, but here it is. Don't play. Just hang tight. It goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. So we're using the rebound. You really got to use the rebound of the drum head or the practice pad that you're using. If you're trying to do all this with your wrist, think, it's gonna hurt, and you're only gonna be able to play so fast. You really gotta let the stick fall. We've worked on rebound before, where we discuss the stick wants to bounce. If you throw it down one time, it wants to keep going. So what we're doing with doubles is we're only letting it bounce twice. We're using our fingers to help us kind of figure that out. Okay, so the exercise: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Watch my hands, even at the doubles, even during the double strokes, they still move at the eighth note rate. They're moving at the eighth note rate because when I do 16th, I'm using the rebound to get the second note. Okay, so that takes some time, but we've done it a good bit, and hopefully you've been doing it at home. Let's get into it. All right, warm up. I'm going to turn on Drum Jam, which is a really cool app on my phone. It's called Drum Jam, as if you're drumming and you're jamming. It's less than $10, but it's got a whole slew of capabilities, and we're just going to play right along with it. Here we go. Let it sync up a second. Boom, 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 boom. So here's the pulse. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and double, 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 double. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 and the 4 E and the 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4. I like to count the eighth note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I like to count the eighth note because it keeps my hands steady during the 16th. Keeps my mouth from having to move so fast. Like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E can get kind of exhausting, and a little bit too much attention can be brought to that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Nice and fluid, using the rebound for the 16th right here. Try to make your hands look like mine. They're always moving at the eighth note rate of speed. And really trying to pull that double for the 16. You're just drumming, no tension. Should be smooth and easy. Drummers are cool for the most part. At least most of the ones I know. No tension. One, two, three, four. Last time. Ready and stop. Hope that wasn't too challenging for any of you. For my adult students, I feel like most of you have a really good feel for the double stroke. So keep it up. If that's too fast, don't sweat it. Do your own warm up on your own time and come back to us. I'm going to show you how to implement this diddle into some of the exercises we've been using over the past few weeks with accents and taps. I think you're going to find it pretty hip, especially when you take it out in the context on your own and do your own kind of musical interpretation of it. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Here is an exercise that we've been kind of working on for several weeks now. Is full of accents and taps. Number one's a little different because it's only accent on the first beat and there's nothing on the rest. But if you notice, number one has one accent, number two has two accents halfway through, number three has four accents, but they're placed kind of specifically. So no pattern has more than four. Okay, here's the way we use it. First, we're going to play each accent as an accent first, and we're going to alternate the hands, alternate the sticking. So number one looks like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Play with me. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Keep the taps really low, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, ready and stop. Okay, so that's the easy version, which we've been doing the past few weeks, and you should be pretty comfortable with this by now. If you've been hanging on with the classes, if you've been practicing on your own, should be fairly comfortable. So now what I want to do is I want to put a diddle where you see the accent. So that is now a diddled note, not necessarily an accented note. It's a diddled note. It's going to be a double where you see the accent. So number one now sounds like this. 1, 2, ready, here I go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stop. Okay, so this is about working on the diddle. This is not about accents and taps. Accents and taps, we're keeping things super separated, very loud, very soft. Now we're just making sure the diddle's there. We're just using a casual dynamic. So whatever feels good. If this feels good, where it's accents and taps, or if you're just nice and comfy like this. The goal is the diddle right there on the front end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's do this. Number one, 4 times through, stop. The same way I just showed you. 1, 2, ready, here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, ready, do it again. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 All right, number 2 has 2 accents on beat 1 and beat 3. Sounds like this. 1, 2, watch me first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Think you got it? Let's do it. 1, 2, 4 times through and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And diddle on 1 and diddle on 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, ready again and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and ready and stop. Number 3 sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's do it. 1, 2, number 3, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, do it again and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4. 1, 2, ready and stop. Number 4 sounds like this. Ready? Here I go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Let's do it all together so I can get it right. Help me out. 1, 2, ready, number 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, ready, here you go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. All right, we're going to go through all 4 of these 4 times each, just like what we did. I'll give you like 1 measure of break. Just going to go straight through them all the same way we just did. So number 1 is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Number 2 is like this, and so on. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it to the drum jam. So this is just a touch slower, which is probably good for us. 1, 2, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2. 1 and 2, number 2. Not yet. 1, 2, number 2. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, number 3. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, number 4. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. Do it all again. Same thing. 1, 2, number 1. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Last time. 1 and 2. 2, number 2. 1, 2, number 2. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and ready and stop. Number 3. Ready? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2 and ready and stop. Number 4. Ready? Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. Excellent. Hopefully you held on that whole way. If not, just pause this, go back, take it any way you need to. You can do it on your own to your own metronome. This is tempo 80. I'm using a drum jam app. If you need to back this tempo off, do that. No sweat. It's no problem. This is an ongoing learning process, so we're all in different places. I'm moving quickly because I'm the only one in the room, and I know that you guys can re-watch this video. So I want to get as much content to you as I can because it's the last class, and I just got a lot I want to give you. All right? So here's another way we can interpret this piece of music, these few exercises. All right? Number one thing, being a great musician, in my opinion, is just being able to interpret one thing in a lot of different ways. So here we go. Here's another way. So you see all the accented notes. Let's leave those as accented notes. And let's take all the other notes that you see and turn them into diddles. So now, number one sounds like this. It's the complete opposite of what we just did. 1, 2, here's number 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 4 and 1. Likewise, number 2 is like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Yeah, so it's just the complete opposite. Just shift your way of thinking. Keep all the accents the way they are, and anything that isn't an accent, turn it into a diddle. And there's only a few possibilities, so don't overthink this. Let's do it a few times. Let's do it. Number 1, 4 times through and stop. 1, 2, ready, here you go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2, number 1 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, ready and stop. Take a look at number 2. Accents on 1 and 3, all the others are diddles. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and stop. 2, number 2 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and ready and stop. Look at number 3. 1 and diddle diddle 3 and diddle diddle 1 and diddle diddle 3 and 2. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. 2 and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and ready and stop. Number 4. Take a look at it. Number 4. All right, it's 1 and 2 and diddle 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 diddle. 1 and 2 diddle diddle diddle. Here we go. 2, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and stop. 2, number 4 again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and ready and stop. Yeah, you getting the idea. All right. So this could be a whole pad of exercises that you do on your own while you're watching TV. You're watching some of The Office. You're watching some of the old reruns of Seinfeld, and you're going, ah. any version of these you want. So either the diddle where the accent is and the rest are normal notes, or the accent is a normal accent and the rest are diddles. Okay? Feel free to go back and rewatch this or come up with your own accent patterns, even cooler. All right, give me a second. We're going to move back to the drum kit. Hopefully my phone does not die on us. It really looks like it wants to. I got time. Gotta go. Get back, get back, get. Alex, hang on. I'm betting the house for $1 billion. Perfect. I didn't have enough time, but it'll do. Hopefully you guys can see all this. We got my sticks. All right. Looks pretty good. I'm back. Maybe if I had 2 times through the Jeopardy thing, maybe I would have done it right. Okay. Still not quite ready. Bear with me. I'm doing it all myself. I'm bringing it with me. Bringing the exercises. Oh, how I know you love thee. Bam. There they go. Look at that. Look at that. You don't need to see me anyway. You've had enough of it, I'm sure. Okay. So, first thing I want to do with this is put all the right-handed accents on the floor tom and all the left-handed accents on the high tom. Okay? So far, we're going to use this exercise like we did the first time, where each accent is a diddle. Okay? Here we go. No, we're not either. We're going to do the accents on the toms and all the diddles on the snare drum. That's what we're going to do. Sorry, I misspoke. So here's our patterns that we know so well. I'm trying to make it so you all can see me play as well. Okay? So number 1 sounds like this. 1. See, because the accent is on beat 1 and the rest are diddle. 1, number 1, 4 times through. Here we go. 1, 2, ready? Here we go. 1. 1, 2, do it again. Here we go. Number two. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1. 2, number 2 again. Number 3. Now number 3 has a left-handed accent, doesn't it? 1. That's how number 3 would sound. Let's use our Drum Jam app so that we got some nice consistent tempo and that we are not going too fast. Cool, here we go. Number 3. Bong, bong, da, 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 bong, bong. 1 and 2 and 3 and diddle, diddle. 1, 2. Ready, here we go. Number 3 again. Number 4 should be this. See? 1, 2. Number 4. Here we go. Number 4 again. Excellent. Look at my page. All right, let's do. So that's one way to do it. And all you gotta do is take it slow. And eventually you're it'll be cool. It's a lot of fun once you get going. I'm just trying to show you the variations, okay? Now what I want to do is use the same exercise, but I want to use, instead of hitting the low tom and the high tom, I want to now use the ride cymbal and the hi-hat. Kind of like last time we did the paradiddles. You can play the same groove on the tom, and then we could play the same groove on the ride cymbal and the hi-hat. It's a whole different feel, or it sounds different at least. Let's do the same thing. So now, for example, number 4 would sound like this. Let's try it. All right, so let's go to number 1. We'll do each one of these twice. No sweat. Here we go. With the music. All right. 1, 2, number 1, go. Number 1 again. Take a look at number 2. Both right hands gonna be on the right cymbal. Here we go. 1, 2, number 2. Here we go. 1. Number 2 again. Take a look at number 3. Now number 3 is the first time we're going to implement the hi-hat like this. Okay? 1, 2, number 3, here we go. 1 and. Ready, number 3. 1. Number 4 is kind of like I showed you earlier. Here it goes. Okay? 1, 2, number 4, here we go. One, 2, number 4, again. If you feel like that was a real challenge, well, maybe we should take a step back. You can always just do this on the pad. I'm just showing variations. You can always take this and go run with it later. So the whole point is this is the last class. This is going to be kind of like a lot of the icing, like some of the different colorful things you can do around the kit, and this is how you do them, is with double strokes and single strokes. Okay, so now I've mentioned before that when we play something metal like a ride cymbal, or like if we're going to crash on something or make a punctuation, usually we like to do that with a bass drum. So take number 1 for example. Revisit number 1. So I'm going to accent that note with a bass drum, and then the rest will have snare drums, diddles. 1, 2, ready, go. See, that bass drum helps create a spectrum of sound because this cymbal is very bright on its own. So if I'm using it as a punctuation, that low bass drum mixed with that has a good balance of frequency. Okay, so that's why we're using it, kind of as a punctuation. So let's go through these. We'll do them 2 times a piece again. And when you get to number 3, for example, it goes like this. Okay? Let's do each of them 4 times and stop. Each of them 4 times and stop. Because this bass drum, we're going to want to get into it. Okay? It takes a little second. If you're on the pad, you're on the pad. But if you're doing this with a bass drum, let's do it. Drum jam, here we come. 4 times a piece. 1, 2, number 1, go. Again, here we go. One, 2, ready, here we go. One, 2, last time through. That 4 times? I'll do a better job of counting next time if it wasn't. Here's number 2. 1, 2, 4 times through. 2, second time through. 1, 2, third time through. Last time through. ready, here you go. Second time through. Third time through. Last time through. All right, here we go. Number four. Four times through. 1, 2, we're ready, here you go. One, two, second time through. Third time through. Last time through. Okay, guys. So much playing here, so much playing, and a lot of it was a similar exercise, but we did it a million different ways. So that's the main thing I want to get across is that it's not just one drum fill, it's not just one beat, it's not just one idea, it's one concept a million different ways. As many ways as you can think of a way to utilize it, do it. I just had another one. I could take all of these accents and play them as diddles. I could take the whole exercise and put it right here. Create a basic beat between this and use number one. Number two sounds like this. Number three sounds like this. That sounds pretty hip. Number four sounds like this. So you find like doing it, something like that, just exploring with it, you find like number three was pretty cool. Not to fan out on you, but anyway, so that's the idea. That's the goal. This app I use is called Drum Jam. Drum Jam. That's that's what it looks like inside it if you had it. It's a killer app. A lot of cool features on it. It goes on a million, kabillion different ways you could use it. But it's cool to just jam with something that's already kind of got a constant beat to it that you can manipulate to turn into like a metronome instead of hearing which is important to use, or listening to your favorite song, which will be over in 3 minutes or so, and you might want to play longer, or your favorite song changes a lot in between. This is something that stays static, and it's nice to jam with. It's actual music, so they're all real instruments. Yeah, I think that's all I have for this class. I think it's important to go back and rewatch this. I move pretty quick when I'm on my own. I try to keep with you. I try to play as much as possible to where you guys can see it done a lot of times. It's one exercise. This one exercise we just did a ton of different ways. Okay, so take advantage of these videos. Take advantage of hitting pause and take advantage of your practice pad. Do this stuff in front of the television. Like I said, I just got done watching. I watch all kinds of documentaries all the time. I'll be tapping away, so it helps. Never goes away. These things will always be around. They're not just trivial things I give you. They're actual things we use as drummers professionally. So, um, unless you have any questions, which obviously you don't here, but feel free to email. I always talk about that. Email us. Email me, drumpercussionstudio.troy@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. I miss seeing all of you. I hope everybody's doing well and being safe and social distancing as best as you can. As you notice, we have done that. So this is it for now. This is the last class of the semester. And I put a good bit in here so you all have plenty to go and run with. Make music. Turn it into music. Don't let it feel like an exercise. Make it feel like music. Okay? All right. I think that's all for us. Miss y'all. All right. Till next time. I'm going to get a new seat that doesn't squeak.